His teacher. Thank you for coming. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Either Holly or
yes. No, either of them.
sorry.
Thank you guys all for coming. We will call to order at 1:07. 1:02, we will say, but we have been enjoying. Thanks for coming. If you text anybody else that would like a cookie, Holly Beck provided all of the catering, and then Courtney did the fruit. And we just want to say thank you for everything that you guys have done. Come in, please get some treats over there. This year it has been, we've done a ton. I'm actually working on like an infographic of everything that the PTA has done, and it's been incredible. So thank you for all of your help, especially being patient with me as I'm learning, and all of the rest of the stuff that I have been unable to do this year. We will go ahead. Are you ready for the treasurer report?
Yes.
And do the treasurer report with Rachel. Don't forget to sign in.
Do you have a, I'm gonna steal your treasure.
Please do.
So we had no income this last month. We spent money on field trips, golden apples, the STEM event, and a PTA convention registration. We need another one. There should be another coming in. Anyway, balance on hand right now is 28,209.88. Woohoo! That was exciting. Any questions?
What was that compared to like last year? Way different
Crap,
because
ask
last
the hard
year we
questions.
had extravaganza coming in at this time as opposed to.
That's
right,
right.
so we would have had tons of
Yeah.
stuff- tons coming in at this time last year. Very.
It did good? I did nothing. I wrote a check after the event.
We
but
didn't do anything,
pass it along.
but we paid for it. I've heard fabulous things. I was out of town.
Did you grab a snack?
So, we have more of whatever anyone needs, also agendas or anything else. Do I have to approve this?
Also, if you have any receipts to turn in, try and get them in before the end of school. I want to get books wrapped up soon. So we're cutting you off at the end of school. If you don't have a receipt in before then, after then, wait. If your receipt's not in before the end of school, we're going to just say thank you for the donation.
If you have it and want it now, it will be signed during the meeting.
I should make more of those. I think we're running low.
Did we vote on the treasurer thing? I can't remember. Okay, great. And then, did someone?
I don't like being in this.
Okay.
You get to be.
We just need to, thank you. Michaela, motion to approve. Janie seconded, all in favor.
Woo.
Thank you, unanimous. And then, okay, we will go quickly through this. I didn't even put the names, sorry, but, voting on the new board is just the same as everything else we do to vote, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You should tell them who they are.
So the, I'm staying on as the president. Janie Rasmussen is coming on as president-elect. Courtney is staying as secretary, and Rachel North, though she has no more children at this school next year, is staying as treasurer. So when someone tells you they don't have time, just remind them that we can guilt anyone into pretty much anything.
Actually, as a treasurer, this is only my second. You can only allowed to do it 2 years in a row. Yeah, Janie took over in between, and I did 2 years before that. But before that, I was president. I was president for a bit. I mean, it's been fun, and I was on the council, and it's been. Thank you. It's been a lot.
He needs about 10 more kids to come to this.
No, I am so excited to be like, I'm ready for the grandkids. That's not true. I don't want them yet.
So if anyone has any questions, or if someone would like to motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Michaela.
Seconded.
Rachel seconded, all in favor. Perfect. Thank you very much. Sorry, you guys. This is more people than we've had since the first meeting, so we didn't set up enough seats. I know, right? No, that was the point. Like a big thank you. So, yeah, thank you guys. The art show, Nicole, as you start. I know, sorry, that was rude.
Art show is Thursday,
Oh, yeah.
5:30 to 7. We're doing a big setup party
Tomorrow. after
You're not even in it.
That's
Right on me. I don't have anything to say.
Setup party tomorrow after school. All the butcher paper has been hung. Thank you to the parents who came throughout the week, the last 2 weeks and did that. And then we have all the art prepped and it goes on the walls tomorrow night and then set up after between the band concert and art show. We're dragging everything from a storage or a prep room into the gym and then hopefully it's minimal setup. But if we can get a lot of it done tomorrow, that'll make the day of a lot easier. So if anyone else would like to be added or just show up tomorrow,
What time?
right after school, 3:30.
Where do we go?
We're gonna meet in the art room and then me and Marie are gonna make assignments or like give out grades with instructions. And then last time we stayed for 2 hours, but everyone mostly stayed for about an hour and a half and we got a lot done. But yeah, that's about the time commitment we're thinking, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how many people we get. So,
And then takedown.
I think it stays up and I don't know what takedown procedure is.
We're leaving that to Marie.
Be on server.
I think they stayed up last year for quite a while.
They did,
But
but I
the
know they won't
squares.
stay up till the end of the year, and so I don't know.
Actually, aren't there still some up?
Yes.
They'll do the award
When
winner
the
from
award
here.
winners, okay.
Yeah.
But
Wait, wait a minute.
The gym, yeah. We'll follow up with Marie. on that.
Also, the t-shirt design contest is voting is happening at the art show. We have 1 submission so far.
We have
if anyone-
I'm sorry.
Two?
Is it from Dot?
Yes, yes, it is from my daughter. And anyone else, yeah,
Foster.
so if anyone else wants to have their kids
Gonna do one.
Yeah,
type up something on ChatGPT.
we have some forthcoming.
Mhm.
Supposedly.
Oh, boy. If not, we'll just keep the same shirt. If anyone who has not been here and wants to spread the word, the art show will be really cool. Kitsa Oteo is helping with it and she ran the BYU MOA and they're gonna have she's training student docents to take us through the art show. So it's gonna be really fun.
We have a ceramicist and a graphic designer and a storyteller coming and they're gonna be doing demonstrations and storytelling. And then it is also nice because we have representatives from BTS, which we get grants from, and the district. So we want it to look good.
And the dance festival is Friday. Got on here, and then, okay, I put this on and we can kind of breeze through it, cause I wanna give Melanie enough time. If anyone has been mulling over the last 2 weeks and has any other feedback on things you think we should change, do again, improve for next year, and you wanna throw it out, or if you don't feel comfortable throwing it out, just talk to me after, send me a text, send an email, whatever. I'm gonna send out the survey again, hopefully, and kind of base next year on that. And I told everyone, I think extravaganza is gonna be October 2nd. So plan all of your trips around.
Do you know, like, are we gonna do it the same?
Yes. It is mandated, or not,
Oh, okay.
it's given
To
to us by,
district.
by, no, by like Provo bike walk.
By Quad
Okay.
Provo.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Oh,
I,
look it up.
yeah,
Can we just give Janae props and her team?
I know, sorry, thank you.
That was just amazing. The fun run is, like, I know there are kids who don't love it, but there's enough of the community who like. The school community who embraces it, and I just think it's so neat. So, thank you. I know many of you were out on the trail somewhere or the run pass and were helping, and it just is awesome. It's one more great event that our school makes happen that makes it special, so.
Kids can walk the next day.
What place did Russell get?
I had some sore kids too.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything? Karen?
Not really, we're just like, really, we were hoping to be practicing the dance festival right now, but there's a mud. Best out there.
We're
so-
happy for the local that we.
Yeah,
get our best.
yeah, but we're hoping that it dries up
Yeah.
by Friday, and we're gonna try to do a dress rehearsal tomorrow if we don't have such muck, but if not, we're gonna just be impressed with no dress rehearsal and showtime. See how that goes. Oh, it just went out. You just sent.
Oh, then they.
It went out. I put it in the group me like 2 weeks ago. I'll send it again this afternoon.
Disco for Oliver.
Why do you, oh yeah, there you go.
Disco.
This is really who you need to talk to. But also Rachel's taking over the art festival next year.
Oh,
Bless her.
cool, great job.
This Rachel, not that Rachel.
Just as a quick reminder for the group, kindergarten is black or jungle or animal print, right? First grade is yellow. Second grade is what?
Cowboy.
Cowboy. Third grade is disco.
Mhm.
Fourth grade is
Sports.
sports. Fifth grade is,
Black.
oh, and sixth grade is.
White.
There you go.
I'm excited.
Only one you didn't get. was
We will go to Melanie now.
Okay.
We've asked Melanie to come talk kind of about the funding and general oversight on the dual language immersion.
A huge topic.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I don't know where do you want me to start? Wherever you want. Good luck.
Could I intro?
Yes.
What's she?
So,
is it too much?
I guess I asked Whitney if you could come, like if we had
Okay.
to have you come and do it, because I've had conversations with people that say. Some of my friends go to DLI schools and they're so passionate and they seem much more informed. About how DLI impacts their school and how it maybe benefits their children, but we don't all necessarily understand how it impacts our children. Because we're not a DLI school and we don't have this passionate community that's locking arms and fighting for what we think is most important. Because we feel like we're the regulars, right? So there often is less information that's passed around or even communicated when you feel like you're holding the status quo. But when
Yeah.
you're participating in something special, it tends to be more unifying and it also tends to have better communication channels. So I
Okay.
think it would be good. I've had several people say, I don't even know how this impacts us. I've heard something about school closures. I've heard something
So-
about shrinking DLI, but what does that really mean?
We've had conversations, we're having enrollments going down. And this is a statewide issue. This isn't just particular to Provo. So, but we are going down, we've seen 300 students just this year, which is a loss of $1.5 million in WPU, which is the weighted pupil unit, which is what the state gives us. And we have no control over that. The state just says, oh, you have X amount of students, you get X amount of money. So we have, just because we're going down, doesn't mean that we still have the same number of schools, we still have the same number of teachers. So our costs aren't going down, but our revenue is going down because we don't have students, and I can't magically make students just appear. Right?
And 300 students is at least 11 teachers.
Yeah,
That-
if you, because we do this, we have, the state gives us staffing based on 27.5 students. Why 0.5? I'll never know, but that's how they determine what a full-time teacher's staffed at 27.5. And so we've been looking at that, and at the same time, we've been looking at our DLI programs, because the DLI's programs are unique because we are required by law to have 2 sides for the DLI, because we have to hire I'm just doing Spanish, for example, or Spanish, so we have 5 schools of DLI. Each of those schools have to have the Spanish teacher and an English teacher. So there's 2 full-time, so they have 2 tracks on there. What we're finding at Wasatch, Edgemont, and Canyon Crest is that we're seeing that we're only having 1 lane of English-only kids, which is creating some inequities for their education. So we're seeing that across the board. But if you look at Lakeview's model, they have about 660 kids at their school. So they're able to do 2 and 2 on both sides. So it's actually, and they're creating people to come in, so we're getting some extra money from outside, not a lot, but it's not costing the district anymore to run those programs. So what we're finding in these smaller schools that run a DLI program, let's say we have 90 kids, which would normally be, how many teachers? We have 93, three, okay, in an English only school.
3.2.
3.2. Yeah, but I'm just doing it so I can do the math easier. So let's say 50 of those kids are in DLI and 40 are in English only. Well, we can't necessarily put 40 kids in one teacher, because we have to put 2 of those teachers for the DLI for the 50 kids because of the program. So we then have to supplement another teacher to fill those other, to go 2020. Does that make sense?
It's like gerrymandering.
Yeah,
But also
But-
Provos had a.
It's not
commitment to always have 2 classes per grade
Mm-hmm.
across our school. That we wouldn't go to 1 first grade at any school.
but like right now at Canyon Crest, we have a class that's only got 8 kids in the English only. So these are some of the iniquities, and those 8 kids are gonna have to move up with each other, and if there's any problems that, like, you know, right now, we can move, say, Johnny can't really be with little kid over here, you know, we need to separate them. There's no options.
But how are they doing 4 classes per grade? How are they fitting that?
They're not doing that. right now.
I mean, at Lakeview,
At Lakeview, they're big
It's a big
enough school.
school.
It's a big,
they did a bigger elementary
so it can fit
What
about
are the
880.
in anticipation of running this program? or
I
what?
think so. I don't know. I wasn't on the board at that time, so. But Wasatch is big enough that it can hold that big.
Well,
So one of my friends was in a class, their child was in a class at Edgemont that was similar. They were in the English class and there was only, I think, 9 children in their class and like 5 of them had behavioral issues.
This is another part.
And
of
they
the
were
iniquity.
7 boys with only 2 girls. And that was supposed to be their cohort,
Mhm.
like
Correct.
moving forward. And I looked at it as like, that's not a good educational experience for
So-
them, but then I'm also looking at like the behavioral issues the teachers are dealing with, and then how do you balance the
So,
classroom?
And
Like,
this is the other part of the problem too, and not as a problem, because we're seeing families that don't want to be in that Canyon Crest English School or the Edgemont are coming to Rock Canyon, which is great. We're a fantastic school. So, but this choicing is
Yeah.
creating a lot of
it's filling
problems.
classrooms.
Because people will say, well, let's just do a boundary change. Well, the state requires us to, if we are at 90%, less than 90%, then we have to be an open school. Unless that, they can do it by grade. So let's say there's 60 kids in 3rd grade, they can say we're closed. So, but if there's openings in the other grades, we are by law, by the state, we have to accept those students. So we can't pick and choose who comes. So even if we were to change boundaries, that doesn't necessarily mean that those students are actually gonna go to those boundaries.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
So the choicing ending is decided by who?
the state.
And they changed that a long time ago. In anticipation of the ELA programs, we don't know.
Nope, that was just
just
parent
school
choice,
choice, yeah.
school choice. Allowing parents to say, if I wanna put my kid in this school and there's openings, then they're allowed to do that. That's across any district. So, did you have questions?
So are you keeping the DLA programs then?
We haven't made any decisions. This is I'm open to any suggestions, because I'm just sitting here going, to run a program well, we need 650 kids in that school. So,
I have a
and
question.
we don't have 650 kids to just shift to each of these DLI schools. These are the, it's really coming down to numbers, and it's not necessarily, it does cost us money, but really, what's the best education for kids?
Well, is closing Canyon Crest on the table?
Everything's on the table, but we have not said anything. I don't want to like.
Well, I'm just thinking, is it one or the other? Is it like
No,
ELA or closing a school?
No, we're trying to, we think it's like, I think they're interrelated. But we're trying to tackle this DLI program first. One thing that we're looking at is possibly doing a magnet school. So taking one of our elementary schools and putting 2 tracks of, like, let's say Spanish and French. And one on the east side and one on the west side. And then that's a magnet school. We don't bus to it. We don't do anything. If you want your kid in DLI, then you go to that. Yes,
Yeah.
but that's like, these are just, nothing has been decided, but there's pros and cons to that, because what if you have your kid that wants to do a DLI, but then wants to stay, so now you're gonna be at multiple schools. Like, I
just don't know how you get around the English track.
that, this is the
There's
biggest,
no way
there's no,
around that.
there's no way around it.
So Melanie, while you're here, like I've also talked to people that have said, like, when my kids went to Centennial, if they weren't in the DLI program, they couldn't do a language class until they were in 8th grade, because language was only for 7th graders that were in DLI programs. And then I've also talked to high schoolers who have said, oh yeah, I already took the Chinese AP exam, but now since I've taken it, most of my cohort doesn't take it anymore. So my class is like 7 or 9 people. Their sophomore, junior, and senior year
So,
in Chinese at Timpview. And I'm like, if my kids, not being in a DLI, if they took a language, they would have 30+ kids in their classroom. Like,
so
that
we're,
seems,
we're starting, yes, there's some truth to that, yes. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Like, when my daughter was going through Centennial, she wanted to do Spanish. Well, she only got to do a half a semester in her 8th grade year to do it. And that was just because they were like, well, we don't have the openings because we have to do this. And this is part of the DLI program that we've committed that they would go through all the way through their senior year. So there are some cohorts that by their senior year, maybe 4 or 5 kids, but we can't force them to stay in it either. Like, I wish we could have a little contract that say, if you're gonna start this, then you have to stay in it all the way through, because it does cost us money.
but couldn't we like outsource those classes and be like, oh, now you're independent study at high school online with
These are all
Chinese, or you're at a
options.
junior college taking Chinese.
These are
or
all
whatever.
options. I
If
mean,
the
I
class
can
size
pull
is
up-
below a certain
So the
number.
projected DLI enrollment for secondary, I'm just looking at this right now. So Chinese, they have 41 kids in 7th grade, 52 in 8th grade. So then, in 9th grade, they have 52, 10th through 12th is 79. So, like that,
Yeah, so it
yeah,
shrinks the
it's
older,
straight,
older
so
they get.
over, yeah, so it does cost us money. These are all the really hard.
Is it a really expensive program?
Yes and no. I mean, we have to hire the teacher. Right now, we have to hire a 1.25 teacher for Chinese. They used to offer they used to offer, like, I guess, beginning Chinese, but I guess they had a hard time finding a teacher that could really do it really well. So I think they dropped it eventually.
So that was part of my question. I somehow have never actually understood this completely. Are the kids that are in DLI, whether it's at Canyon Crest or Edgemont or wherever they are and they have 2 full-time teachers, are they not also flip-flopping?
Yeah, they are.
So,
So
yeah,
there's like
So they have-
60 kids or 45 kids or whatever there is,
Right.
and they flop.
so,
So it's not actually an extra teacher
There's
because they're
two-
switching.
right, so it's
Okay,
2 teachers.
That's what my
They
question.
have a Chinese teacher and an English teacher.
Right.
And they have a French teacher and an English teacher. And what they do is, for the first half of the day, they take 30 kids, and then the English teacher takes the other
Right.
half. And then halfway through, they swap, but they only teach like math and science in one and English in the other. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Then they swap it throughout the day.
But if the cohort shrinks by the
Yeah.
time they're in 4th,
Which
5th, or
is
6th
what-
grade,
They're
it
still
turns
paying for
into
2 teachers.
50
Yes.
kids or 42 kids split between 2
Right.
teachers. So you have classes of 21 where your English class is gonna be 32 kids
Right.
or 30.
That's
kids.
another thing that we have right now, is that we're not allowing students to move after 2nd grade. They don't get to go into the DLI
Right.
program. So we have families coming in. I was one of those families
Here.
when we moved here. My son was in 2nd grade. I'm happy with my decision. My kids all came to Rock Canyon. We had a fantastic experience here. But it wasn't an option for us because he was in 2nd grade when we got here. So, we're looking at even possibly having kids be able to choice in regardless of what grade they're in. I mean, Chinese would be really hard. It's like, how do we support them in that?
Do you have,
Do you give each language a certain amount of money?
No, so
Okay,
we have the 5 schools.
yeah.
4 of the 5 are on the state model. And the state model basically just gives money enough to buy supplies. So it's like $7,000 to $10,000 per school. It's not a lot of money. They also help with getting visas for the teachers that need to come in to teach those. So they'll help with the visas. We still have to pay for the visas, so that is an extra cost.
But if you were to go from having 5 languages down to only 2 languages, it's not gonna save you a ton of money.
It would save us, eventually it would, but we would have to be committed at least through 6th grade or through 12th grade if we were to go down to like a single language. Because we've already committed those 1st graders. Does that make sense?
So you're like stuck in it.
We're
until they're
stuck
done.
into it until they get all the way through.
Except they all drop out. So-
Not all, they don't drop out. And people move. We don't have any control over those types of, yeah.
Have numbers of how many enroll in each of them?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
is there one that's significantly more enrollment than others?
No,
pretty
like
equal
I can tell
across the
you,
board?
so this is projection for next year. At Canyon Crest, they're expecting 55. Edgemont 56, Wasatch 48. Lakeview is only at 28 right now, and that's based on their kindergarten levels. But she somehow, because we're like one of the few Portuguese in the whole Utah Valley,
Yeah.
she seems to bring in a lot of people from the outside. And Timpanogos is at 60. So our numbers in DLI actually haven't decreased. But if you look at the numbers, what they're expecting in 6th grade, Canyon Crest is supposed to be 50. Edgemont's supposed to be 35 next year. Wasatch is 61, Lakeview 50, and Timpanogos 48. So there is a drop. The only one that didn't drop was Wasatch.
So
So-
why, I talked to friends in Alpine School District and I realized that they're busting up, but they only offer 2 languages. And they're the largest district in the state.
Yes.
Significant.
Why are
I-
we doing 4? Like,
Like, you're a tiny district.
no, but I'm just like, that doesn't make sense.
And this is why we're having these hard conversations, because yes, people who are into like, they are passionate about it. They love it.
Yeah.
Right. I wanna, if it's something I love, I wanna be fighting for it as well. So I do know my sister teaches up in Box Elder County and they just moved all their Chinese out and they've gone Spanish. But she's teaching the English side of Chinese. She teaches the 3rd, 4th mix.
Their class
Because
size
the
is
classes
so
are
small.
small, and as they're moving in, but then Spanish is coming in behind them, so they're gonna be Spanish only. These are all conversations that we can have, like, why are we offering? Honestly, yes, for the size of our district, we offer a lot of choice.
And we have 5 schools, but 4 languages.
Yes.
So the
Yeah,
Spanish
which then
center.
compounds it when you get to the high school level. Because if we had 1 language offered at Provo High and 1 language offered at Timpview, you would have more students in those classes as they get up, because you'd have more language students potentially feeding, so that
And
the,
it's,
as it
like I
funnels
said,
up,
this
it's
would
not gonna be
take-
6 or 7, it's gonna be
And we can
15.
discuss that and go that direction. It's just gonna be a 10, 12-year program
Yeah.
before we can get to that.
So why is that the case though? Like, is that a legal thing? You're telling me that if the district came out and said, sorry, we're dropping Chinese in 2 years, that the parents would be like, we're suing you? Or I don't understand how that's like a
far as I
right
know,
that you
it's-
have to have for
I
12
don't know if
years.
there's any right, but we've committed that this was the program that they were gonna offer them through their 12th grade when they signed on.
I'm just saying, what's the repercussion
Yeah,
for
so-
saying, sorry, we don't have the money?
Can't afford
Yeah.
it.
So, and honestly, a lot of it is really coming down to the English only side. But those kids are not getting the best education. There's some inequities that are going on.
Absolutely,
Well,
that's
did
the
it affect
biggest
our
thing.
opinion because we don't want our class sizes to get,
No,
either.
but we would also like to see the numbers go up at Rock Canyon
Yeah.
as well, because we don't want to see, what is it, a 3rd, 4th that are mixed this year?
That first second,
Just 1st and 2nd, and that's not ideal either.
right?
So, I mean, so these are some of the inequities that are happening because of lower enrollment and small schools, which we all love. I mean, we're in a unique situation. You talked about Alpine. Most of their elementaries are 10,000 plus kids in each of their elementary
And they've shut schools down also.
all the time. And We're hearing Evo's shutting down 2 schools. And the new Lakeview, Lake Mountain, I don't know, can't remember all the new names. The new Lake Mountain by Linden, they're planning on shutting down 4 schools. Just as they open. So, I mean, nobody wants to do boundary changes. Nobody wants to shutting down schools. These are not fun conversations. They're just as fun as a bond. So
I guess my 2 questions are, is the magnet school seem, like, does that help with the cost and the inequity of education? And then also to Karen, you were saying, if we don't have the DLI, do you think we'd actually have increase attendance here rather than decrease?
I guess I would. It would, I mean, I guess it would depend on so many things, because we don't have DLI because we closed the school. We don't have, I mean, so in a closed school, yes.
So what we could do is, if it's a magnet school, that's the magnet school.
Yeah.
And again, nothing I say here has been voted on, nothing's true. I'm just using this, let's say we put the magnet school at Wasatch as a central location. Then we would rearrange the boundaries so that we could try to fit more kids in each school, and then try to get 650 kids at Wasatch too, which eliminates having the English only track.
Right.
So there's pros and cons to all of this.
I think
I've done with that, I mean, I'm like, that's something.
So they're all just hard decisions.
But
the.
Well, I get it. Learning languages is really, really cool. I think that's awesome.
But we also.
But I also don't love, like you're saying, the disparity that's happening in those schools with the English track. And it sounds like Lakeview has a great way of doing it.
They also have, they're out with 660 kids.
Yeah.
So it fits.
But it's too problematic for people moving in here going, I don't want my kid going. I mean, it's weird to go in there and there's like 12 kids and
There's no other option.
there's no other option for you. And it might be kids your kids don't get along with, and you don't like the teacher, or there are behavioral issues or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel.
I was at a Centennial PTA meeting a while back, and one of the counselors was saying that the DLI kids come in lower, like on the core classes than the not DLI kids. Is that?
I think so.
I haven't seen a whole lot of information on that. I'd say that they're about the same.
Okay.
So
The counselor just said.
Anecdotally, I've heard the same thing though from peers now with kids that have graduated high school. They would say they learned math and Chinese. So it's really it's hard for them to do math. Or they didn't have time in English to spell. So my kids can't spell. These are like a couple different families with older kids, like feels like we've underserved.
Right, and I've heard from teachers here, kids who have transferred from those are starting.
Yeah. I mean, you're limited on time, right? Can't learn it all.
That's right. So
I
anyway.
really don't like that my kids won't have access to foreign language
I
at a junior high level. Like, I think
understand
there's
that.
something wrong with that. Like, that's a standard kind of across the country, is that junior high students have access.
And
to
that's
foreign
something that needs,
language.
and that we're gonna be having this discussion next Tuesday, and I will definitely be bringing that up again, because
Yeah.
that was something that affected my own children as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, so she can say Ola. I mean.
So just
basically
because I
after
don't
half the
choose it in
semester.
first grade, they don't get it until ninth grade?
Yeah,
Or they get a taste of it in eighth grade?
but
I
even in
thought-
ninth grade, because, you're at a 5x5 at Centennial, then you go to a 4x4, you're required to do so many core things.
You may
as
not
a-
get it?
You only have like 3 electives as a freshman. Like, it's just hard.
You're painting a beautiful picture.
I know, I love from district. I've tried a lot of times to push a 5x5 up at Timpview, but it's hard to get.
5x5.
So, yeah.
5x5 is awesome.
Next year. Like an A day, B day, 5 to 5. So 10 classes.
Just saying, like, the data shows 9
And they're like,
three,
really.
with like 42 to 48 to 52 minute classes is the most productive.
Well, and
Like, we don't get to decide that though.
well, go get on your community councils.
Yeah.
These are like, honestly, like, and tell who is on your community council. These are the things that the principals need to hear, because they can make those changes, but getting the teachers on board want to do it, because the teachers, they'd have to do an extra.
Yeah.
So.
Teachers and principals will have to change the start time of the schools.
No, not start times.
Oh,
No,
that's what I thought. I'm
No.
doing numbers. I
no,
don't
5x,
have-
to go to a 5x5 would be a principal's decision.
Got it.
So, and we're struggling with this right now with Shoreline. Shoreline does not do a 5x5. They do a 7-period all day. They don't have an AB schedule down at Shoreline. And now that they're pushing their Spanish through, they're finding that this is causing problems, trying to do a block for those Spanish kids. So there's just not really any easy answers to a lot of these questions.
Shoreline realize, Shoreline talking about trying to do that.
I don't know. They're in
So Penny was
processes.
talking about going to a 7-day though.
The
So-
Centennial might go back to a 7-day, I don't know.
It's a principal decision?
I don't, it's more of a principal district decision.
Right? Like, I don't know, it just makes sense, like.
So,
Well, then it's Shirley.
so, I mean, there's advantages to having when you have math every day
Yeah.
or having like English every day, having your core every day makes it. So there's definitely advantages to it. But the advantage to being the 5x5 is giving kids a lot of options for electives.
But there's
To
only
try.
like selectives.
Yeah, it's like, I know, grader, you're actually very good.
Taking like
Fine.
history
They can
classes.
do
She absolutely
There's
And
There's-
Why?
Well, and it's not an argument because by the time you get to senior year, girls and kids are not studying. So I think like it's take all electives, I'm like, what's? But I know it's not. It's sometimes so that I do class to my.
But it might like, does theater one, theater two.
Hey, what questions do you want me to take back to the board? I heard about, there's kind of an inequity when it comes to junior high and high school about getting the chance to learn a language if you've been in an English only school or English only track.
I'm also very concerned about class sizes in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade compared to class sizes in DLI classes in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade.
Which we can't move that again, because kids can't move into a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, but they can move into.
I understand, I'm still heavily bothered that my children are gonna be in a much larger class than someone at a different school who chose DLI, because that's a different learning environment. So you can take that message back. It's not against you.
And I think the voice maybe missing from is this voice, is the people who said, I can't do the DLI, I'm coming over here. And so the people who tried it and said this is working, or that were in the English only and they came here because the English only just was not working for their child. That's another voice I think
That doesn't
could tap
seem to
into.
be.
This is really in this conversation.
What's the best way for us to, I have a super question, so let me finish both. But what is the best way for us to, I mean, I know you're here saying this, but like, should we be writing emails? Should we be sending a letter? This is a record number. I don't think I'm gonna convince anyone to show up to board meeting, but like,
They're long, but they're
we
fun.
can sign a petition, like, what is the best way for us as parents whose children have I actively chose against DLI to
So
talk?
I think it's good for you guys to give your perspective, because when they gave the district survey, I was like, you need to get these people too, and they didn't. And that was when I was frustrated, because I was like, you just like focused on only DLI. You're like, there's different voices that needed to be heard.
Yeah,
So Board of Education at provo.edu.
okay.
If you send an email there, it goes to all the board, the superintendent, and the business administrator.
Could we draft
So
something from our PTA that was signed by whoever would be interested in signing it to say, we want to make sure that these concerns are being addressed as you're evaluating not only school
I have
closure,
no
but
problem with that.
reformation of DLI
To
and.
you guys as a
I
PTA.
also found this cool tool today that you kind of put it in and it changes the email slightly for you and just writes it. Somebody posted it for the water.
Is it
called- is it called
ChatGPT?
I don't know, I was signing it for some data center that I don't want in Box Elder County.
Oh, they
Um,
approved it.
Yeah, I know, but you can fight back until tonight at midnight or something.
When we're making decisions, we're trying to do them very data driven and not emotionally driven. So the more data you guys can share, like, these are the things that really affect me because of large sizes in fourth, fifth, and grade. Like, these are the things that we can hear that then we can take and say, okay, these are the reason why we're making these changes. It's hard to just say, well, we're just gonna make the change because so-and-so got angry. Like, but it's those that happen. Do you know what I'm saying? I wanna make these so that they're really data-driven.
But if it's so imminent, right, like something.
Something has to change, but we don't know what yet.
But that's part of my question is, how do we, if our funding is so variable based on year to year, are they just doing a census every year?
So we do it based on our October 1st count.
So every year, I mean, how do you plan for these?
Well,
Programs.
this is where it's frustrating. We paid an outside company last year to do a full boundary study for us, and they projected that we were growing. And it was completely.
Get a refund.
I know. So, because we purposely did it so that it was from outside eyes, so that it wasn't biased and all of these things. And they were like, oh no, you guys are gonna be great. You're gonna be at 17,000
didn't
by
pay
like
attention to the cost
2030.
of living.
And we were like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
And things that just, it's just the opposite. I get that there's gentrification. I get that those things are happening. But I don't see a lot of, even if somebody old in my neighborhood passes away, I'm not seeing a lot of young families moving into those homes either. Yeah,
So, and maybe this will take too much time, but what other things besides DLI are being considered?
so there,
Wait, pause, before you get, this is my last question.
Okay,
'cause it's
sorry.
On DLI, before we, I told you I had a two-part question. The, does the funding come from the state? Cause what really irks me is that the funding from DLI gets more funding per student and a smaller class size. Is that district or is that state?
both. Okay, so everybody gets the WPU. So if
Yeah.
a kid comes from Orem, we only get their WPU. It's about $4,800.
Right.
Right? But we don't get their property tax.
But who decides that DLI class size is 39 and my English class size is 31? I mean, 29 and 31, or whatever those numbers are.
Okay, so we always are doing it 60 kids for the DLI in first grade.
That's the hope.
That's the hope,
Okay,
that we
Because they
start
have
at
And-
space
60.
about two.
And we're hoping that with attrition, they'll be at maybe 50, 55 by the time they get to sixth grade.
But as far as additional funding for.
The only additional funding we get is it's like $50 a student, and that basically covers materials.
but our class size for first grade is what?
27.5.
Sorry, I heard all this and I was writing a check.
So,
Well, I mean, currently in first grade, we don't have twice.
You're
Yeah.
right, but for us to get another teacher,
yeah.
Oh,
cause I thought that their class size was smaller. Their requirements, their class,
So.
they needed another, didn't they have two
It
different?
depends,
do you see
okay,
what I'm saying?
right, so it depends on like, let's say they have 50 kids in the. DLI side and they have 40 kids over the English side. We can't do one teacher with just the English side, so then we have to subsidize another teacher over here to get to 20 and 20.
Okay,
So in a sense, they will do that anymore to subsidize.
Yes, and it costs, we've already, this is open, you guys can find all this information, it is costing the district an extra $1.25 million. In FTE.
And the board docs have some really good slides, goes school by school. how
I
much
can-
per student.
I'll-
It's really good.
I'll
It was
email-
on the last, not the one we got yesterday
Right, but the
from
one
Superintendent
before.
Dow, but the one before. There's lots of slides. that
There's
walk
lots
you
of
through.
slides.
They're
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Sure, we
yes, go back.
not getting from outside district students that are
So,
paying taxes.
we get the
towards
whole
our-
WPU, which is the $4,800 to educate a student in Provo is about $11,000. So we're doing a lot of subsidy here.
And how many students from out of our district are?
We actually have a lot, about 460 kids are coming from out of the district, but what's surprising is only about 170 of them are doing DLI. So it's not.
So how is that allowed?
But we don't know how
It's
much, like you have to ask how many of ours are going out.
I
It's the
understand
state.
the district, but not between districts.
No, it's statewide. You can take your kid up to Bach Elder if you wanted
But
to.
then
and they're
they need to be. They're not giving us any money. if they're not
Just,
getting
just
that.
their WP. It gets their WP.
That's insane.
What's our net? Do we, like, we get 400 in? Do we, how many do we send out?
So I don't know. We know about 1,000 kids are going to charter schools. this is also another thing with charter schools. Another charter school will be opening on the south end of Provo again, a new one. So that's gonna take more students as well.
Yeah.
And we have no control about charter schools. That's a state run thing, which I'm going, we're decreasing. Why are we building another school? Why is the state opening something when we're having to talk about closing schools? It doesn't make sense.
The state doesn't open it though, do they?
The state, yes, charter schools are a public school run by the state.
Doesn't somebody come to them and say, I want to start a charter school and this is what it'll look like, will you give me approval? And then they go
They
do
go to the
it?
state,
but the
but
state-
they
And if
have,
they
the
give them
state, the
funding-
state has to approve that they're gonna do it.
Yeah, so, yeah, but it's not the state saying, let's open a charter school.
No,
Yeah.
it's somebody going to the state, but the state has full control and they could look at it like and say, okay, well, we already have 5 charter schools in Provo. Why are we opening another one?
Got it.
Like, but they're not
Doing
being,
it.
I don't feel like they're doing a lot of due diligence that way.
And they're not looking to see, are the charter schools doing better or worse?
No, they're looking at the third party saying, numbers are going up, we gotta open more schools.
Yeah, which is not happening, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we have, there's a lot of pieces, the vouchers are also a piece that we don't have any control over, if people end up taking the vouchers and leaving the public schools. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, other, if somebody was asking a question at me.
Yeah, it's okay, we're probably on time. I was just
Yes,
saying
sorry.
what- Oh, no, you're
No.
fine. I was just saying, what are the other things that you guys are?
So
Chopping block. That are like kind of the big kahuna.
the other things that we've talked about, like in our other meetings, have been, again, nothing has been made.
Yeah.
Our music teachers, which we love. We would maybe share music teachers between schools. Which isn't ideal. Um,
Everybody else.
I know.
I will raise any amount of money that we need to.
So,
Yeah.
okay, again, we heard it loud and clear that music is very important, and that was something that was on the chopping block earlier.
But most districts don't have a certain.
Most of them don't have a certified teacher. Most of them are all part-time. Most of them don't even have a part-time like art teacher. Like it's one or the other. So that's one of the great things about Provo education. We give a very good rounded education, lots of depths, different genres. That a lot of people don't see that and go to a charter school. They're not going to give you all that. Again, we need to publicize that this is why our schools are so great, to get people to come back to them as well. The other things on the chopping block are, we're looking at instructional coaches and possibly assistant principals and sharing them across, which is not ideal. But we're. So, again, they're not huge costs. They're not huge cost savings either. So, again, when we look at these, like, when we're talking about cost savings, it's like, what is going to be the best educational experience for these kids? And
If we close one elementary school on the east side and we're at 2 elementary schools, and how much money does that save us operationally?
I need to do the numbers. I'm not gonna say something right off the top.
That's what is it significant?
It'd be significant.
Just because we're not running more buildings and we don't
We
have
wouldn't
to
have to
have
run buildings,
duplicate staff.
and we wouldn't have to duplicate staff, and we could have
Yeah.
larger class, like larger school numbers.
Yeah, so that music teacher is now serving
Yes,
more
serving
students.
more
instead
students
of-
instead of a
Yeah.
small number.
Is that a one-time like savings and like
No,
some
it
real
was annual.
and so
It would be,
like the majority of it is coming from the administrative costs, not like.
No, it's
recouping
just,
costs
but
on
we
the real
still,
estate
we
or
still
anything
keep
like
the student, we still get all the student money
Mhm.
for
Student
student,
money,
we're just
and-
not spreading.
and we may have to move, I mean, we wouldn't lose all those teachers, right?
Right.
Some teachers would come to,
Yeah.
like, there'd be like,
Just build school.
we'd fill
But
the
you wouldn't
schools
have
better.
another custodian and you'd have
Right.
one less principal and you'd have one less assistant principal and less
Right.
office staff and
And
less.
we wouldn't have to pay for utilities.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to pay for, like,
Yeah,
so. Yeah, but we can run schools more efficiently at around 600 is an ideal number.
Yeah.
And 650 for a DLI, like, but to get to that number, we need to magically grow all these kids, like, so that they are there.
Like, we're not like
We're at
440
right?
right?
650.
Here?
I think so, because we've had, we have 10 meetings.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, we have 440 or 490 right now.
We're at we're
And
480-ish.
And
Yeah.
you can go to 6.
So when my kids were here,
610.
yeah, yeah, when our kids, how old's your oldest? Michelle, you're 21.
21.
She's 20. So my oldest is 23. And he was the first sixth graders in this group in this building, and they had 36 in each class. Like that's, I mean, it shows you just the difference in the demographics that have happened in just like 10 years. Anyway, there was probably 580 students in this building 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're now 100 plus.
Thanks for coming, Melanie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So honestly, you can email me personally. It's melanieh@provo.edu or boardoфeducation@provo.edu, and that sends it to everybody. But send us your thoughts, send us everything. I'll bring this up with our discussion again on next Tuesday. You can always
No,
watch
everything
online.
you send to Melanie, it can be used in a public records request, so it is public information.
But the thing, I mean, the terrible position you're in is that whatever decision you make,
No,
somebody's gonna.
Yeah.
do it.
This is one of those, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you
Right.
don't. So
Yeah.
it's extremely hard.
But how many students, if you closed 1 or 2 schools, how many students does that have to be now reallocated?
It depends. I mean, we have some schools that are under 300 right now. And then we have some schools that are 660. I mean, we obviously are probably not gonna close quickly.
Right.
But we're trying to come up with a good metric of why that schools would get closed so that we're not just saying, oh, we're just picking you. Like, we're giving you metrics of why we're doing it.
Well, there's one obvious on this side of town, but what about on the other side? The oldest, and gonna have to be rebuilt anyway, you know?
So, and these are all factors. But these are definitely factors, and the cost of building is very expensive now compared to what, I mean, we built this school. How old is the school now? 2014? 10 years old? 2015? I think it's 11 years old now. We built this school for just over 10 million. Yeah, and we just built, the new Wasatch for 42. That shows you the increase of how, and how expensive things have gotten. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, like I'm retaining, it costs $10 million.
It was expensive.
It was a land swap, and they got nothing
That's true.
So,
because of the land.
yeah, they did get you.
So.
Okay, any other questions for me?
Thanks, Melanie. Really helpful.
Good luck. 4 o'clock on Tuesday if you guys want to join us.
So the value.
Meeting.
Right.
But
That is all I have.
part of that is.
Does anyone else have anything else?
Forecasting the inflation.
Great.
Motion dismissed.
Thank you.
Second.
Michaela motion, Jamie seconded, meeting adjourned at 2 p.m.
Thank you, guys.
Can I draft the letter?
Please.
And then you can send it to the membership and